time.
Everyone wants to know how you get your exercise in because you're so lean.
I do it like ISIS. I usually only do one at a time. And I don't even care if anyone calls me a Sally because I'm a snail and I'm never gonna fail. And you know what? You're gonna have to bail me out of jail. Where'd you get this weed?
Say and spell your first and last name for me.
I ain't gonna tell you my first and last name. Most people know me as Did David.
We're wondering
You
what.
know how long this interview is gonna be?
I'm gonna say I'm
This is producer Katya. So this book, this is one of my favorite reads when I'm sitting on by the campfire or like relaxing in Malibu.
and it's all rock and roll based. Sorry, I'm not into this rap thing. You know.
But that hurts my feelings, but like I love rock and roll as well, so I'm glad we can
Okay,
connect on that.
good. See you in Japan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait for Japan.
Why did you, when you were sitting by the campfire, why did you invite all those young kids to come sit by the fire and have you read to them about it? I mean, I thought that was kind of odd.
That is totally falsified in every way.
Yeah, falsified.
Donald Trump. No, he's my man. He's my man. No introduction. Jenny from the cul-de-sac, of course. She has a boyfriend now who's in the military. He's actually dead. She's died in Iraq. She moved to Patagonia. What was it?
All right, ladies and gents, we're watching this little thing that came out after he was arrested. That was discovered, a video. Valdez says he liked to party. Yeah, he did like to party. He had the money to do it. I think that's his sister, Romy, which she turned out to be beautiful. But yeah, Valdez is saying he's a freak. When you're snorting that much cocaine, right? 8 balls of cocaine and stuff, and heroin and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Oh, it gets crazy, and it gets crazy real fast. And you throw in fast women, and you got yourself a recipe for disaster.
Pasadena.
I guess it could have been pretty awkward when PETA approached you about joining their team.
I'm gonna go kill that dog.
Why do you like Snapple so much?
Mainly because when I'm done drinking it, I can go in my room and squirt lotion in it and then use it to stick my penis in. Sometimes I just come out to gather my my sick thoughts.
Did he just say what I think he said about Snapple bottles? What in the? He's out there. He's out there on that one. Good God Almighty! Reel it back in, Nick.
Know they know the David who go on stage, who has his ways about him, but you know they really want to know what's inside. Because I like spat on his windshield.
I think we would all just be blown away if you could kind of walk us down Freestyle Alley. Oh, look, there's one of your fans now.
That's Barbara. She's blind, so that's why she didn't see the wave. The geniuses, the brilliant ones, the people.
Now, do you notice how he's trying to act like he's black? His talking and everything. There's a lot of crazy stuff out there in Brentwood. You know, I was watching a video earlier today, and they were talking about the murders of Brentwood. Which, if you look at that video, it's pretty freaky. You had the OJ thing, and then there was other murders before the OJ thing. You had the Marilyn Monroe thing. It's like a Hollywood stalking, killing thing or something. It's crazy. Valdez says, "What year was this recorded? Do you know?" No, it was just released. I think the title of it is "This Surfaced After," or at least the commentary in it is saying that this is surfaced after his arrest.
Well, I'm referring to myself, if you're curious.
You know, we're close to making a deal that will, of course, make him the worldwide star that he deserves to be.
50 million on the line, and they were like practically just jacking me off the whole time.
Going to a party.
That looks like a big old bag of cocaine. It's got to be a couple quarter ounces. It looks like a big old giant bag of cocaine. Yeah, well, you know, that's why rumors had it that he'd get money from the family or whatever, and they stopped giving him money because he would blow it on drugs or whatever. But maybe that's true. I don't know. But in this, that's a big old pile. That's a big old bag of cocaine. Yeah, I don't know. What's that look like to you folks? I don't know. Let me know. Yo, Miss Debbie Fox.
Yo.
Yeah.
I feel
really good.
I feel like I'm like 100 different people right
Do you
now.
feel really? I do too. I'm like 5.
I
at
got
least.
like 100 personality disorder.
Okay, I'm scared of them.
Dude, I was just about to. My mouth is getting a little parched because of how much I'm talking to y'all. But this
And we really haven't really delved into anything deep, so.
Yeah, that was interesting. Huh. That was a pretty big bag of cocaine. His mouth was dry because he's been probably doing so much cocaine he could feel his face. But yeah, wow, that's crazy. We all liked to party, and back in my day, the devil's dandruff was probably at its best game. Whatever they're snorting today, it's obvious ain't cocaine and has gone purely straight to their brain and eating it away. But yeah, that's something. Let's take a look at one more thing. Miss Debbie Fox, what do you think about that? A couple of the things that he says now is clicking with psychotic personality disorder, brink of maybe many personalities. It's nothing wrong with being crazy and having one personality, make believe friend, whatever. But when you got a whole town of them in your head, that's when it probably becomes a real problem. That's when the doctors probably say, yeah, there's something wrong here. But I don't know. He is so aware, Debbie Fox says, like someone trying to act way younger than what he is. Well, not that. He's trying to act like he's someone else, like he's. To me, it seemed like he was trying to talk like he was African American, like a big druggie or drug dealer, or I don't know, maybe someone famous or something like that. I don't know. But when you're lost in a world like that, and you don't have to worry about getting money for drugs or anything because your resources got a bunch of money. And yeah, I can see how you blow it all on drugs and fast women. Let's take a look at one more thing. He was from the hood. I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if he was from the hood. He kind of wanted to act like it, He's African American or something, but they'd eat him up in the real hood. They would have seen him coming a mile away. It gave him money, a place to live, rehab. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
South Chadbourne Avenue, which is in the Brentwood section of Los Angeles. Upon entering the residence, they discovered the bodies of Mr. and Mrs. Reiner. Detectives from our Robbery Homicide Division Homicide Special Section immediately initiated a comprehensive investigation. The evidence gathered led to the arrest of their son, Nick Reiner, who was taken into custody later that night without incident in the Exposition Park section of our city. Today, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office has formally filed charges against Mr. Reiner for the murder of his parents. This case is heartbreaking and deeply personal, not only for the Reiner family and their loved ones, but for our entire city. We extend our deepest condolences to all of those who were affected by this tragedy.
Okay, so in terms of how the Los Angeles Police Department became aware, it was a request from the Los Angeles Fire Department, who responded to the scene first. We responded to their request for assistance at the scene of the incident. Our initial West LA officers that responded determined that a crime had occurred, and they immediately notified our robbery homicide division. They've responded, and they have taken over the investigation since that point. He was arrested in a public area in the Exposition Park area near the University of Southern California campus. He was approached by the officers, and he was arrested without incident. There were no indications that he was going to resist or anything like that. He didn't flee or anything like that. He was taken into custody without issue, and he was transported to our police headquarters facility.
Disturbing new details are surfacing in the investigation into the brutal murders of filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner. Details that trace back to a Hollywood holiday party just hours before their deaths. According to multiple sources who spoke with NBC News, the couple's 32-year-old son, Nick Reiner, was present at Conan O'Brien's holiday party on December 13, the night before authorities say his parents were stabbed to death inside their Los Angeles home. Sources say Nick Reiner's behavior at the party immediately stood out. One incident in particular involved a strange and uncomfortable interaction with comedian and Saturday Night Live alum Bill Hader. According to two sources familiar with the situation, Nick interrupted a private conversation Bill Hader was having with other guests. When Hader told him the discussion was private, Nick reportedly stood still, stared silently, and then stormed away, leaving those nearby unsettled. E! News reached out to Bill Hader's representatives for comment, but no response has been received so far. Beyond that interaction, multiple outlets, including the Los Angeles Times and People, report that Nick was also seen arguing with his parents, Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner, during the same holiday gathering.
Yo, is the video too long or too loud? They said he double dipped when he put his potato chip in the dip. Oh, he's got them eyes. Double dipper. I've seen it too many times at parties. Guys standing around like that, Cholo. Right? The hell you doing here, buddy? And he gives you them eyes like that. What do? Well, them are killing eyes. You know exactly what you got to do. You come up against a guy like that. That's the look of death. What do? You kill him right there as he stands, because he's going to kill you. In the back of his head, he's always saying, I'm going to kill Kramer. So you got to take him right out with a Johnny chop. Yeah! Take him right out with a Johnny chop. Look at them eyes. You can tell right there he's cold, distant. He's lost. One eye's pointing the other way. When you look at a dude like that, that means that son of a bitch can't decide which way he's going to kill you. He's looking at both ways. I can't deal with a guy like that. I'd be suspicious too. People coming around looking like, the hell's this guy? Look at his eyeballs. And that's what he's got. And even the look. Yeah. And he's a psychotic. I tell you, I hate to say it because I have great respect for the Reiners, for Rob Reiner and what he created and the things he created. But you might have to run this guy through the Coden's computer. I mean, I'm just being honest, because if he did that, and it's been many years he's been running around like this, he might have done something bad to somebody, either to get a fix or just a crazy man because someone didn't like what he was saying, or felt uncomfortable around him, he might be a serial killer or something. Let me see what Valdez said. He told Conan that he thought Jimmy Fallon was funnier. Oh, right there, Conan probably was going to kill him. I wouldn't doubt it one bit. That's like a. That ain't good, man. You're in Conan's house. You don't disrespect him like that. He's king while you're there. I know the food is free and all the drinks and everything. There ain't nobody funnier than Conan on that night. But each people live their own ways. I don't know. Is the video too loud, Debbie? Can you hear me, Deb? Snapuka? Yeah, Debbie said he's got Snapuka eyes. That's what he's got. That one eye's looking the other way. As one looks directly straight into your eye, the other one's looking probably somewhere else, like a murder weapon or someone else he's got to kill after he lunges at you. And, I don't know. Once again, my condolences to the family, and I do respect the family. But that might be a sheep in lamb's clothing, or what is that old saying? A wolf in lamb's clothing, right there. I don't know. What do you guys think? I can hear you and the video. Okay, Miss Fox. We're going to keep going.
Adding to the heartbreak, actress and activist Jane Fonda revealed she spent time with Rob and Michelle just one day before their deaths. In an emotional Instagram post, Fonda said the couple appeared healthy, happy, and full of life. Just hours later, on December 14, Rob Reiner, 78, and Michelle Singer Reiner, 68, were found stabbed to death inside their Los Angeles home, triggering an immediate homicide investigation. Later that day, Nick Reiner was located by authorities and taken into custody. The Los Angeles Police Department confirmed he was arrested on suspicion of murdering both parents. Following an investigation, Los Angeles County District Attorney Nathan Hochman announced
I want to point something out that I think he changed clothes, because when they busted him, he had on a jacket with the white stripes. But before that, he didn't have no jacket on. So somewhere in there, he changed clothes, which it appeared that he had black jeans on with a shirt or a sweatshirt or something, but then it changed to a jacket, black jacket. Maybe he had that black jacket in that backpack that he was carrying.
Announced that Nick Reiner has been formally charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Prosecutors allege that Nick personally used a deadly weapon, a knife, during the attack. The charges carry the most severe penalties under California law. According to the district attorney, Nick Reiner faces either life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty if convicted. Hochman explained that Nick will undergo a medical clearance.
He will be brought to court to be arraigned on these charges. At that point, he will enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. So special circumstances is a situation where one of the enumerated factors that lead
half his life and exhibited serious behavioral issues from a young age. One source described him as egocentric with unresolved anger and resentment, particularly toward his father. Yoga instructor Alana Zabel told Page 6 that while working with Rob and Michelle in the Jackson, who who has previously represented Harvey Weinstein and Karen Reed, has confirmed he will represent Nick Reiner in the case. Jackson declined to comment beyond procedural details.
Every single inmate goes through a medical clearance before they can be transported to court. Every one of them. Okay. And that's a process. It's just a procedural issue. And he has not yet been medically cleared. So he will be here hopefully tomorrow.
As investigators continue to piece together the final hours leading up to the killings, the unsettling party behavior, reported arguments, and rapid legal developments have left Hollywood and the public reeling. For now, Nick Reiner remains in custody without bail while prosecutors prepare what is expected to be one of the most closely watched murder cases involving a prominent Hollywood family. Long simmering tension. Heartbreak. Turmoil. Turmoil. Carry the most severe penalties under California law. Carry the most severe penalties under California law. According to the district attorney, Nick Reiner faces either life in prison without the possibility of
This dude changes his looks. Look at him right there. He looks like the dude from Steely Dan, the lead singer, Don Feldman or whatever his name is. This guy actually changes. 1 minute he looks like Fagelman from Steely Dan, and the next minute he looks like Popcorn Planet creator, whoever his name is. It's like Nick was a chameleon. He just changed. Demonic, maybe. He might have been so lost that he opened his mind to his demonic shit and he got possessed. It's kind of freaky if you ask me. Oh, hello. How you doing, Kelt? Miss Kelt, how you doing? Hold on, let's get back to a little of this here. I screwed it all up. I accidentally hit the forward button and jumped way ahead and screwed everything. I can never get anything right.
Parole or the death penalty if convicted. Hochman explained that Nick will undergo a medical clearance, a standard LAPD procedure, before being arraigned in court, where he will enter a plea of guilty or not guilty.
Nick Reiner, who was accused of killing his parents, actor-director Rob Reiner, and photographer-producer Michelle Singer Reiner. These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with the special circumstance of multiple murders. He also faces a special allegation that he personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, that being a knife. These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. No decision at this point has been made with respect to the death penalty. We have requested, and currently Nick Reiner is being held without bail. So special circumstances is a situation where one of the enumerated factors that lead to elevating in some ways a first-degree murder case to a special circumstance first-degree murder case occurs. One of those special circumstances is called multiple murders. Here we have 2, and it qualifies under the definition of multiple murders to allege the special circumstance in this particular case.
High-profile
All right, Miss Debbie Fox is saying it's sad because he never hit rock bottom. Well, he did, Debbie. He did hit rock bottom. He did travel. He was out in Texas. He was out on the East Coast. He traveled to many places. He was homeless at all of them. Where was he the night of the Idaho 4K? Because in some photos, he does have bushy eyebrows. And he did like to hang out at the colleges. That's where they found him, was at the college park or something like that, the university park or something. You know? Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but you got to ask yourself if he would kill his own parents, knowing if they passed and he was going to get a bunch of money. That in itself, killing them just to get the money, he had to be lost, possessed, to think he was going to get away with it. I don't know. I don't know. What Bell does say, rock bottom was that video where we watched earlier. Oh, where he was snorting the cocaine and everything. But he never hit rock bottom, meaning whenever he got in trouble, police or anything like that, they got him out of trouble. Whenever he didn't have money, they gave it to him. Whenever he didn't have a home or somewhere to live, they'd get it for him. He can't join. Valdez says he's not allowed to join an Aryan nation in prison because he's Jewish. Don't make this into a race thing. We got enough troubles already. Kelt says it wasn't the drugs, though. He had more wrong with. Yeah, there was problems with him when he was younger. And I can relate to him. You know, I had troubles when I was younger. Although, you know, mine was brain problems from my accident when I fell. But there's, like I said, folks, there's crazy where, you know, this person has a problem, but they're not violent. They don't hurt themselves and stuff like that. And then there's crazy, you know, where they're doing stuff and they ain't making sense and they can't take care of themselves. And then there's full blown crazy. And then there's just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs crazy, which Nick is in that category of, you know, you kill your own parents. That's pretty, you're pretty lost. You know? But you'd have to hate your parents, and your parents would have had to been total assholes your whole life to you. Like the Mendez brothers or whatever they call them, Mendez or whatever. No, maybe. Who knows? Let's see what chat's saying. Kelt's saying, I'll be pissed if Jackson gets him off. Then his dad was all we should have believed. The therapist, yada yada. Liberal, yeah. They killed their parents, yeah, and for money too. Same thing. They were being left everything in the will. If something happened to them, they got everything. Yeah, something deeper happened to him. And, you know, we don't know. We have no idea. We really don't know. But yeah, it's obvious something. But he was troubled at a young age. Maybe, you know, did Mr. Reiner drink alcohol or do anything himself in his younger years? Could be from alcohol. You know, it could be he just was born not right with ADD or attention deficit, whatever they call it, where you act like a child your whole life or something. When you don't get your way, you throw a fit. numerous illnesses he could have had from the day he was born, but it just didn't start coming out until he got older. That's very possible. Maybe there was nothing Mr. Reiner could do. He could be as nice as he wanted to Nick. But in Nick's brain, the whole world was against him. He hated his parents. He hated everything. And it was because of his disability. In his mind, he wasn't right. Valdez is saying Alan Jackson might get him off. And, well, I can tell you this much. If Nick is not found guilty of the murders, where he's found not guilty, he had nothing to do with it, then he is liable for the will. He would be able to collect, if anything was left to him, he'd be able to get it, because it would be proven in court that he had nothing to do with it. He wasn't the killer. And they would have to give him his the money that, if he was left anything, he would be acceptable for payment. He would be able to get it. So, Mr. Jackson might want to try and get him off. He might try real hard to do it. Because if he wins, then he knows Nick gets money from the will, which could be millions and millions. And in return, Mr. Alan Jackson would be reimbursed for his time. Does that make sense? Valdez, here comes Valdez again with Conan. He's trying to get Conan wrapped up. Let's see what he said. They took him to Conan's because he didn't want to leave him. They didn't want to leave him alone. Well, I heard they took him with because they wanted him to be active or whatever like that, or wanted him to be sociable or whatever. But you might be right. They might not want to leave him alone. But if you don't want to leave someone alone at your house, and you're afraid they're suicidal, then you should be getting them help or having them committed. Could they have them committed? I don't know. They could have had them committed into a nut hut. I don't know what the laws are out there in California, what 5150 states. What requirements you would need. But if you got to sleep with one eye open because you don't feel safe about someone being in your house, and even if it's a child, then something's wrong. Kelt says it's a pro bono job. Maybe. You know, if he gets them off, everybody's going to be like, Alan Jackson. Everybody's going to want Mr. Alan Jackson. He ain't dumb. I can tell you that. All right, let's watch a little more of this.
Defense attorney Alan Jackson, who has previously represented Harvey Weinstein and Karen Reed, has confirmed he will represent Nick Reiner in the case. Jackson declined to comment beyond procedural details.
How long
Every
does-
single inmate goes through a medical clearance before they can be transported to court. Every one of them.
Okay.
And that's a process. It's just a procedural issue. And he has not yet been medically cleared. So he will be here hopefully tomorrow.
As investigators continue to piece together the final hours leading up to the killings, the unsettling party behavior, reported arguments, and rapid legal developments have left Hollywood and the public reeling. For now, Nick Reiner remains in custody without bail while prosecutors prepare what is expected to be one of the most closely watched murder cases involving a prominent Hollywood family. According to the district attorney, Nick Reiner faces either life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty if convicted. Hookman explained that Nick will undergo a medical clearance, a standard LAPD procedure, before being arraigned in court, where he will enter a plea of guilty or not guilty.
Nick Reiner, who is accused of killing his parents, actor-director Rob Reiner, and photographer-producer Michelle Singer Reiner. These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with a special circumstance of multiple murders. He also faces a special allegation that he personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, that being a knife. These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. No decision at this point has been made with respect to the death penalty. We have requested, and currently Nick Reiner is being held without bail.
I want you to look at what Nick's doing. Nick's sitting all the way in the back. But look at his eyes. He's got a grin on his face, and he's looking at what? Romy, his sister. Everyone's staring into the camera but Nick. You see that? Look at that. Look at, everyone's looking into the camera, smiling. Nick's out of corner. He's got his eyes looking out of the corner of his eyes at his sister with a smile. What in the snapuka mooka eyeballs is going on in here? It's like that Rob Stewart song, Infatuation. Infatuation. Whatever that song was, I don't remember it, but there's a song out there called Infatuation. Am I the only one that sees that? They're taking, everyone smile, looking at the camera, and there's Nick looking at the camera forward, but his eyes are looking at his sister. And I don't blame him. My God, what a good looking woman. But that's a whole nother video for another day. That's freaky, man. This is some freaky stuff.
Long simmering tension, heartbreak, turmoil. Shocking developments inside the Reiner residence that led to the night of horror, leaving Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer's daughter scarred for life. Unsettling details are emerging about the family dynamics surrounding.
Valdez says Romy's hot. She ain't bad looking, I'll tell you that much. But let me try and go back here. Right? Let me go back. This whole family changes. Crazy.
Party behavior, reported arguments, and rapid leave again. The source described it as a painful cycle, one that those close to the family witnessed firsthand. They did everything a parent could possibly do, the insider told Us Weekly. Page 6 separately reported that Nick had struggled with drug addiction for more than half his life and exhibited serious behavior and leave again. Shocking developments inside the Reiner residence that led to the night of horror, leaving Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer's daughter scarred for life.
Now, this middle kid looks like Chris Cuomo from CNN. It's like one of the Cuomo kids. This is too freaky to me. Has anyone else seen the familiarity of this? Is that one of Cuomo's kids? This is unbelievable. When Nick ain't looking like Nick, he's looking like Donald Fagenman from Steely Dan. He's looking like Popcorn Planet, dude. And the other kid's looking like Cuomo. This is too much. Or Billy Bush. I'm not sure which one. It's just too much.
Unsettling details are emerging about the family dynamics surrounding the shocking deaths of Hollywood director Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. New reports now paint a picture of long-simmering tension, heartbreak, and turmoil inside the Reiner household, long before the fatal stabbings that stunned Hollywood. According to a new report from Us Weekly, the couple's 32-year-old son, Nick Reiner, who has been arrested in connection with his parents' murders, allegedly had a hostile and volatile relationship with his siblings and parents for years. A source told the outlet that Nick always had a strained dynamic with the entire family, including his brother Jake and sister Romy. The source claimed that Romy, who discovered her parents' bodies, had been particularly affected by Nick's behavior over the years. According to the report, she was extremely close to her parents, and watching their ongoing struggle with Nick took a heavy emotional toll on her, leaving her traumatized. The insider alleged that Rob and Michelle spent years trying to help their son, seeking treatment, allowing him back into the home, then watching him leave again. The source described it as a painful cycle, one that those close to the family witnessed firsthand. They did everything a parent could possibly do, the insider told Us Weekly. Page 6 separately reported that Nick had struggled with drug addiction for more than half his life and exhibited serious behavioral issues from a young age. One source described him as egocentric, with unresolved anger and resentment, particularly toward his father. Yoga instructor Alana Zabel told Page 6 that while working with Rob and Michelle in the early 2000s, Nick would repeatedly interrupt their sessions with intense outbursts and screaming. She said the couple confronted his issues head-on and were deeply committed to trying to help him. Another insider alleged that
Yeah, he might have been totally psychosis where in his head he was yelling and having arguments with whoever, but he couldn't control it. He would answer the arguments or whoever he was arguing with in his head openly out loud where people could hear him, and they'd be like, who are you talking to? Right? Yeah, he might have been that far gone. And, you know, and it's sad because the family did everything they could. Yeah. Paul McCartney was in the new, I haven't seen the new Spinal Tap. I'm waiting to see it. I got the first Spinal Tap on DVD. I got to see the second one. I hear it's going to be unbelievable. And if it's anything like the first one, it's hilarious. Betty Davis eyes. Yeah, I don't know what kind of, I don't know. These people change too much. The only one that remains to look like he does always is Rob Reiner. The rest of them all change. Well, Romy, she seems to stay the same when you look at her. She's just, she's probably a heartthrob, right? Guys go crazy for her or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, too many people change too fast. Too many different roles that they're playing within their brain or personalities or whatever. I don't. Romy's over the hill already. She's that old. I had no idea. I don't know. I have no idea. Pretty crazy if you ask me. Well, he might have been sharing needles with somebody. Well, they say at 14 he was doing heroin already. Now that's the story he told. At 14 he got a bunch of money from his parents. Or he got $200 from his parents at 14 and bought a prostitute. Well, he might have dipped his wick in something bad. Or he might have been sharing needles if he was if he was injecting heroin. Or even cocaine. Right? You start sharing needles like that, you might get something. If not hepatitis C, something else. You know. All respect to the family and everything. I love the whole thing Mr. Reiner created, for his family and everything. But he might have been, if he was injecting it, then he might have been out on the streets injecting stuff with other people using, sharing needles. That'll do you in. And fast women will do the same. They'll kill you just as fast. So, I don't know. It's a craps game out there in the world. Let's see what Bo Does is saying. He put coke up his butt like Stevie Nicks. I don't ever talk about Stevie like that. Stevie never did that. He got lipstick on his dipstick. Well, maybe, I don't know. But Stevie, please, I'm a big Stevie Nicks fan. Yes, it's true. She did like her cocaine, but not anally. I can vouch for that. But, yeah, it's just crazy. All this Hollywood stuff. You gotta have a taste for it if you live out there. Donald Trump says he knew a girl that like that. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, but I imagine you knew many women. From what we're finding out, Trump. Many women. Oh, Lord, save us all. In Jesus' name. All right, let's get through this video.
Nick deeply resented his father and struggled with feelings of inadequacy, comparing himself to Rob's success and public admiration. These claims, however, remain allegations from sources and have not been independently verified. Rob and Michelle were found stabbed to death in their Brentwood home by Romy just hours after the couple attended Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. According to reports,
Why they always got to show Conan's meathead? Look at him. They put him up next to Nick. Was it Conan and Nick? Only the hair knows. Why they got to bring Conan into it? They probably weren't even at Conan's house. Watch we interview Conan. Was there a party at your house? Kramer, are you kidding me? Do you think I'd have these nutbags over here? I mean, I could see Rob Reiner being at these parties because that dude can talk about anything. Right? But I don't know. Look at Conan. This big hair. Look at him. Why are you guys always dragging me into this stuff? You know, but he's probably thinking, hey, any publicity is good publicity right now. Well, I guess he was having a argument with some harder dude, that one dude that was on SNL and did a couple movies. He wasn't arguing with Conan. He was arguing with some other dude who's pretty funny, does impressions and all kinds of stuff. And supposedly he told Nick it was a private conversation. And Nick just stood there and looked at him, probably with them kind of crazy eyes there. Can you imagine sitting at Conan's party? Look at Conan. What do you think Conan did when he seen Nick looking like that? Walking around asking people, are you famous? Kind of reminds me of the movie. People weren't thinking. These people, Nick was walking around telling these famous people, asking them, are you famous? Are you famous? Are you famous? Almost like, what? The Young Guns movie. Billy the Kid. What did he always say in that movie? I'll make you famous. I'll make you famous. I hear Nick's walking around in front of all these famous people asking them, are you famous? Are you famous? Look at, yeah, he's walking around. I wonder what Conan said when Nick walked up to him looking like that. Right? Oh, what the hell did I invite over here tonight? What did I get myself into? I better get my big boy looking hair hamburger joint back in the kitchen or something. Yeah, did you see the size of that chicken? Yeah. Poor Nick. I feel bad for him. But in the same breath, I don't kind of. If he did it, then he says, if he did this, he's his own disaster. He created it all. You know, as Sinatra would say out there in California, well, you did it your way, Nick. You did it your way. Nick probably tried on Conan's wife's panties. That's what Valdez said. I doubt it. Well, Conan's a big dude. He's a pretty tall dude. I imagine he probably, being he's from Scotland or whatever, or Ireland or whatever, he probably just hit a button and guards came out and everything. Little leprechauns. We're here to take you out of this party. Yeah. Party, yeah. Party. And if you don't, we'll beat the living crap out of you. Yeah. We're on our way to Munchkin Land. And normal people out, he's just trying to live. Yeah, he's just trying to be somebody. We all are trying to be somebody. We want the world to love us, but we can't please anybody. And the only one we really should be worried about pleasing is the Lord, but it's so hard to walk with the Lord, talk with the Lord, be with the Lord. I imagine in his mind, he's delusional. You would have to be to do that to your own family. If he hated them that much, why didn't he just get life insurance policies on them and wait for them to die of natural causes? Nothing against the law with that. Right? You hate your mother, you hate your father, you don't want to be around them, you don't kill them or whatever. Normal people, anyways, get life insurances on their family. No, it's just a given. But when you try and kill them for it, that's another thing. That's a whole nother thing. Debbie Fox is saying, "Oh, great, she's picturing that." All right, I think we've had enough of this video tonight. It's getting late. Let's see how much is left. It just keeps repeating itself.
According to reports, the couple allegedly had a loud argument with Nick at the event and left early. People magazine later reported that Nick had been freaking everybody out at the party by...
Yeah, this video just keeps repeating itself, guys. It goes through the whole story and then starts over again. Goes through the whole story and starts over again. And we'll leave you with this picture of him looking at his sister for some reason. Who's this purple? What's purple? What's all purple, Debbie? Conan had red hair. I don't know what she's talking about. It's probably all purple. I have no idea. All right, we're going to end this. We're at 1 hour and 3 minutes. I want to thank all you folks for showing up tonight. It's been a great night. Really has. Oh, no, Des, come on. Cold. Oh, no, it's in my bed. It's in your head. Oh, white and purple. I don't know what she's talking about. Crazy lady. All right, I want you folks to be safe out there. God bless you all. Trump's worm. Oh, I have no idea. I don't know. We'd have to ask Melina. I think she was in chat earlier looking for Trump. So you must have pissed her off, Trump. You're not bringing me into this stuff. I'm like Conan O'Brien. right? I bet you Conan's at home right now flipping out. Why are these people showing my face next to Nick's? Yeah. Don't bring me into this crap. Debbie, what is going on in my chat? Now he ends. Yeah, I'm ending it. It's getting late. We're already an hour in. You folks got stuff to do. I don't want to keep you here all night. I don't want to keep you here all night. Show Conan again for Kelt. Kelt wants to see Conan again. Is that what you're saying? No one wants to be known to be. Well, the murders didn't occur at his house, so he has nothing to worry about. Now, if this all happened at Conan's and Nick flipped out and killed them both at Conan's, and Conan's like, get this shit off my property now. And they threw the bodies into a car and brought them back to Mr. Reiner's house and staged then I would be worried, but I'm not worried right now. Kelt, do you want to see Conan again? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling Big Johnny here? You want to see? Dang it, no, I can't find it.
Murder cases involving a prominent Hollywood family. Long simmering tension, heartbreak, turmoil. Shocking developments inside the Reiner residence that led to the night of horror, leaving Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer's daughter scarred for life. Unsettling details are emerging about the family dynamics surrounding the shocking deaths of Hollywood director Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. New reports now paint a picture of long simmering tension, heartbreak, and turmoil inside the Reiner household, long before the fatal stabbings that stunned Hollywood. According to a new report from Us Weekly, the couple's 32-year-old son, Nick Reiner, who has been arrested in connection with his parents' murders, allegedly had a hostile and volatile relationship with his siblings and parents for years. A source told the outlet that Nick always had a strained dynamic with the entire family, including his brother Jake and sister Romy.
Does he not, or does he not look like Donald Fagen from the early 70s or whatever in the Steely Dan band right now? I can't find Conan. You're going to have to look on a separate thing yourself, Kel, if you want to look at Conan and have naughty thoughts or whatever, Conan. Valdez said he's seen Slash once hanging with Ron Jeremy and Grandpa A.I. Lewis. No joke. I don't know. They might have been hanging out. Who knows? Debbie said, watch his googly eyes. I don't know. They changed so much. I don't know no more. It's just demonic. It's gone pure demonic. I need to have a sip of tea here. I can't find Conan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end this video. It's like when you try to go back and look for something on it, it's just the same shit over and over again. I think we're all on that wheel of repetition that Satan's put us on. Excuse me. All right. Is there anything you folks want to say before we end this video? God bless America. All glory goes to God, to liberties and statues of all. Thank you very much. Yeah, you folks have a good night. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow.